Why, good morning. Today is Dollywood's opening day for the 2024 season, so I am pretty dang excited to get back there. I haven't done a full theme park day in several months at this point, so I'm happy for the theme park season to be restarting once again. Definitely some exciting stuff to see today. We got to see how Lightning Rod is getting on with a chain lift. In addition to this vlog, got to record a what's new for 2024 video because those are always top performers on my channel, so of course I gotta do that, walk around the park, see what's new, record all that for both this vlog and that video. Probably a reaction to Lightning Rod or something. I'll figure it all out when I get there. There's a lot to do, a lot to see, a lot of videos to record, so I'm gonna kind of be all over the place, but it's gonna be fun. Hopefully get to ride a lot of rides. Right now, they have the I Will Always Love You music festival going on right now, which is a new festival this year. Actually, they kind of had it last year with the 50th anniversary of I Will Always Love You, but this year it is a full-fledged festival. It looks a lot more fleshed out, and they have lots of kind of small-time performers, which I really like when Dollywood does that. It's really cool to, at a park like Dollywood, be able to sit down and just see some cool musical talent. So I don't know if I'm going to do that today since, like I said, I have a lot of videos to record, lots of things to see. I want to get back on as many rides as possible that I haven't ridden since, couple months ago. Also some fun limited edition food stuff and such to celebrate the beginning of the season. So let's go see what all that looks like. All right, I just parked at about 9:30. The park opens at 10. So I'm gonna go ahead and head in. They do let you go in early as with most parks, and they just don't open the attractions to the listed opening time. Usually I get here after opening, but I did want to be here right as they open today because I think that'd be fun. I haven't done that in a while. And I don't really know how crowded they're gonna be today. We're gonna find out. This parking lot's already kind of full sea lot for it being 30 minutes before opening, but it could still be fine. We'll see. I'm just gonna go ahead and walk in because I'm pretty close to the front of sea lot here. And yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a rainy day today. Weird weather for sure. Upper 50s, lower 60s Fahrenheit all day. This kind of overcast drizzle. So very European weather. I definitely feel like I'm back in London right now, but yeah, it could be worse, that's for sure. All right, time to pass through the security concourse. Absolutely nothing has changed about this plaza. It's still very ugly. At least the rest of the park looks pretty good once you get inside. The rain is already starting to pick up. I just slid on a rain jacket. I have not done season pass processing yet because the line's super long, and you can just use a digital pass, so I'm just gonna do that. Yeah, I just have to walk out in the rain to actually enter the park. All right, I was going to start off the day with a ride on Lightning Rod, but apparently it's broken, which is kind of funny actually. Not even a chain lift could save this thing. At least we can kind of see the new trains. Kinda. Not really. Well, I guess it's good to know that even with the entire launch replaced with the chain lift, Lightning Rod's still gonna Lightning Rod. Managed to find a semi-dry seat here, which is kind of a miracle considering the weather. But yeah, I kind of expected when I was getting here early today that I'd be jumping right in line for a ride. That didn't really happen, so whatever. Instead, I am eating because I'm hungry for some reason. I know it's only like 10:15 and I did eat breakfast this morning, but I'm hungry, so here we are. Got the sausage skillet from the Market Square. Still different for the festival here, so have some different veggies like some green beans and peppers, and there's chicken in there as well. Also sold my soul to get the all-season refill mug this year. Of course, it's the Dolly Parton Experience artwork, so that's kind of cool. And a blue lid for all season. If you do just the daily one, there's a purple lid. That's how they tell the difference. All right, that was actually really good. It's pretty similar to the sausage skillets they've had before. Obviously some different vegetables, got some corn in there, some green beans. It's definitely a good little mix-up. Kind of hope that they continue for each season doing a little bit of a different skillet. That'd be fun. It is really good. Obviously it's priced a little higher than I would like, but that is just the whole theme park industry right now, and compared to the food prices at most other theme parks, this actually isn't that bad for the quality. I mean, that's about what you're gonna be paying for chicken tenders or french fries, sometimes even more than that for chicken tenders and french fries at a Six Flags or Cedar Fair park. And this is obviously a nicer lunch, so there's that, I guess. crowds really started pouring in, so I just went the opposite direction of all the crowds, which is up into Timber Canyon. So I guess I'll go to start riding some rides because it doesn't look like the rain's keeping people away. So, well, thank you so much, electronic sign. That's very helpful. Figured I would start out with Big Bear Mountain since it is all the way back here kind of by itself. It's kind of a hike, so I figured I'd do that first.
All clear. I see Big Bear.
So good news, with the tracks slicked up from the rain, Big Bear Mountain's running like an absolute bat out of hell. Bad news, the onboard audio is turned off on both trains. So that's a big thumbs down. It was still a lot of fun, still running pretty fast, but the onboard audio is a pretty big part of their experience of this ride, in my opinion, and it just feels a little empty without it, especially with how fast it's running today. The whole time I was just thinking about how much better it would have been if the audio was working. So that's unfortunate. They had the audio working like pretty much the entirety of last season's opening season, so it's kind of sad, you know, day one it's already either not working or turned off. I don't really know what's up with that, but whatever. All right, that was about a 45-minute wait for Big Bear Mountain, which, yeah, it was running really good, and it's a fun ride, but without the audio, kind of annoyed having to wait 45 minutes. So I'm gonna walk around the back of the park. Mystery Mine has like an hour wait right now, but apparently near the back of the park, like everything's a walk-on, so I'm just gonna do that, complete the main park loop, kind of look around, look for any major changes around the park for that Everything New in 2024 video, which will hopefully be up before this, so you can probably have already seen that, and oh my gosh. That's something. Okay, so this was the plaza at Wilderness Pass, which is a nice like little kind of park plaza type thing, seating area, just to relax for a bit, but I don't know, either they're refurbishing it or they're doing something else with it. I'm gonna try to get a better idea of what's going on here before I add that to the other video. But wow, clearly I'm not the only one curious what the heck is going on. See lots of people trying to peek through this fence. Oh, no, it's just gone. It's just straight up gone. What the heck? Oh, hey, look. They stuck a bench here. Just for me. Thanks, Dollywood. Really appreciate that.
All right, there we go. Welcome back. How's that? Open entry gates.
It's hard to see on camera, but the rain really just started pouring all of a sudden. Actually, it wasn't raining just a second ago because I just got off Wild Eagle, came in the gift shop, and just in the time I was walking through the gift shop, getting ready to leave, it's now pouring and everyone's kind of ducked in here, so I guess I'll wait it out for a second. All right, it looks like this is not going to stop anytime soon, so I'm just going to see if I can make it to Blazing Fury. Anyways, right before it started raining, it's actually not raining that bad right now. It was much worse a second ago. But right beforehand, I managed to get 2 rides on Wild Eagle, both in the back row, in the short time that it was not raining. So that was fun. It's like the literal most walk-on I've ever had. Both times I walked right up into the station. The gates were already open. Back row was empty. I just walked in and sat down. So I think that ride is incredibly overhated among coaster enthusiasts. I mean, it's fun. That's all I really got to say. Of course, it's not like one of the best rides on the planet, but I don't think it's trying to be. It has definitely the most gut-wrenching drop in this entire park. That's my favorite part. Decently forceful first vertical loop, and the rest of the inversions give some pretty nice floaty hang time, which I know most people don't enjoy, but I definitely do enjoy. And then you actually get a decent pop of floater airtime on that last airtime hill before the completely pointless helixes. It does have a bit of a rattle, which it's not painful or uncomfortable. It's just, I feel like that ride's supposed to be like butter smooth, like you're flying. In the last couple years, it just hasn't been. This year included, it's still got a bit of a rattle to it, which is unfortunate, but I'm gonna go dry off for a little bit. The only indoor attraction in the park is for some reason to walk on. Again, I think a lot of people just don't even know this is really a thing. So I have left this little freezer thing up here. Now we're inside. Oh my gosh, it's loud.
Week back or not, Luther, here I come.
You better do a packet.
It looks like you've been giving that steam train.
I just went 4 laps in a row on Blazing Fury. Fantastic classic dark ride coaster. I was happy with it this time. They've a lot of the effects that were not working at the end of last season. They have fixed and are working now. Man, this corridor looks really creepy on camera, but so yeah, it's not perfect, but they fixed a good number of the effects over the off season that were not working last year. Even I've noticed a few new effects I've never seen before, such as there's like kind of a moonshine still thing at the very beginning, and that kind of has like a little fog machine blowing fog out of it now. It's a few little touches like that. And additionally, there's like a dark corridor in between two of the final scenes. The corridor right before you get to the like waterfall, for those of you who have ridden it before or are familiar with the layout, now for some reason plays the Fire in the Hole music from Silver Dollar City. And not the new song either, the 1972 version, which I think is kind of a cool touch. It doesn't really make any sense with the way the ride is set up, but I don't know. I figure they just threw that in there for fun, and I like it. So yeah, so overall, I've been somewhat disappointed with Dollywood this year with the direction on some things. Some of that just could have been today, but like the whole lightning rod situation, Big Bear Mountain's onboard audio not working. Hopefully that is just a today issue. I was feeling a little like, come on. So I do feel a little better now seeing that they've evidently put at least a decent bit of tender love and care into Blazing Fury over the off season. I'm happy with that, so thank you. Honestly, I might just eat standing up because look at all the seating around here. Not great. But yeah, anyways, I decided to go ahead and grab some more lunch real quick. So when I saw this online, this is for the festival as well. It's a barbecue chicken melt. Look at that. That's white cheddar cheese. I was intrigued. I had to try it. I do feel though, for the price you pay, I feel like it should include fries or something. But at least it's a full-size sandwich, because sometimes they've tried to pull, giving you like a slider for $12, and that ain't cool. So at least it's a whole sandwich. But we do also have, this is the first time I've ever seen like a hot drink, like seasonally, so that's interesting. I mean, they have hot chocolate in the winter, but that's usually about it. This is a hot cranberry tea. It's a little chilly today with the rain, so I thought that'd be nice to warm me up. And it tastes very similar, like it's like a cranberry, like apple cider. I don't know, it's good. It's about the same price as the other seasonal beverages. That makes it sound weird. They're all not alcoholic, but anyways, it's the same price, but it's actually like a bigger cup and there's no ice. So I guess you are getting a lot more beverage for the price. So that's something, I guess. And they have several of these that are warm this year, which is good. At different locations have different options, basically. And yeah, no, it's pretty good. Warming me up. Yeah, no, this sandwich is really solid. It's definitely a different flavor than what I expected. I don't know what I was expecting. It's a different flavor, but it's still really good. Like anything they put that white cheddar cheese sauce on, and you know it's gonna be good. Okay, so while I was eating, I did see lightning rod test once. Just once. And it was incredibly weird to see it climbing a lift hill instead of launching, but they have not tested again. So that's probably not great. Oh, I know it's because it's been raining, but look at how muddy this water is. That's how much it's been raining this morning. Okay, so they're taking a train off or putting one back on or something. You can probably barely see on the camera, but you can see the break in the track. That's where the switch track is. Basically, lightning rods is weird. So the whole track moves down, and the storage is under the station. So it moves up and down like an elevator. And it's down right now. So they're transferring a train. So it might end up reopening with one train. It's better than nothing, though. Well, anyways, while we're waiting for that, I'm just going to walk around while I'm finishing up this hot tea. All right, first half of the day has been kind of miserable with the rain and all, kind of messing everything up. But it feels like things are starting to turn around because it finally stopped raining, at least temporarily. The sun's starting to come out, and I just saw that lightning rod is open for the first time today. So I'm heading over there to see what this thing's like with a chain lift on it. Last time I was in this building was when I was going to get my last ever ride, or a group of us were getting the last public ride with a launch. I obviously did not get the first public ride with a chain lift, but I did get the last public ride with a launch, and the first public ride with the chain lift was yesterday, so I'm pretty close up here. So I was wondering about this quite hilariously. It seems they have not changed the video in the queue line. I figured they would just turn it off, but they did not. So I'm pretty sure this mentions the launch a lot. So that's outdated. Also, the arc welder special effects hasn't worked in a while, at least when I've been here, so that kind of jump scared me. I was not expecting it. But yeah, as expected, the queue line is like pretty much entirely untouched, it appears. right, friends, I did it. I just took my first ride on Lightning Rod with a chain lift, and it's a mixed bag. I make a point to say that because at first I thought, like, for sure it's just going to be objectively worse without the launch, and I was just checking to see how much worse. I'm talking like from the ride experience, ignoring the downtime and everything. And well, yeah, overall I preferred the experience with the launch greatly. Surprisingly, I did find some things on this new chain lift version I actually liked a little better. Like when you're entering and exiting the station and moving through brake runs and everything, a Lightning Rod could be really janky doing that. You had a lot of weird sounds, a lot of weird pops and clunks, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that RMC had never done a launch coaster before, so they could not use their normal train and brake run designs and everything like that. But now that Lightning Rod's on a chain lift, it's actually had all that stuff reworked to like RMC's like tried and true stuff in that respect. And because of that, the way that it moves through all the brake runs and in and out of the station and everything is just like flawless, like butter smooth. It just feels perfect. I don't really know how to describe it. I think you just got to ride it to know what I'm talking about, but that part is definitely greatly improved. It doesn't really mean much for the overall ride experience, but just the engineering feels much more sound. Everything feels the way it's supposed to feel. Whereas Lightning Rod could be really janky in that department just because, they had some weird stuff going on with the station and brake runs to make it work with the launch. So that's good. That's all much smoother now. And also, and this is really just because of those brand new trains, Lightning Rod near the end of its run with the launch, I'm sure many of you that rode it in its final year or two in the launch know this, it got pretty dang rough to the point that it was almost kind of uncomfortable. And unfortunately, no track work has been done with this upgrade, like no track work whatsoever. However, again, it did get brand new trains, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate how much of a difference new trains can make. It's still a little bit bumpy. It's not butter smooth, but I would say it's a significantly more comfortable experience than it was last year. Now that's obviously going to change as the trains start to wear out, start to break in and everything like that. But right now with the brand new trains, if you can come ride it this year or earlier in this year, you'll probably get a much smoother experience, or you almost definitely will get a much smoother experience than you did the last couple years with the launch. So yeah, both in terms of the brake run and station mechanics and the way it tracks, the trains track themselves, it's a much smoother ride than it was before. And so I guess that's the main positive takeaway there, is that I honestly wasn't expecting it to feel any smoother. It really does. So I could definitely see someone saying that they enjoy the new version better because it's smoother. So yeah, those are the positives I wasn't really expecting. Otherwise, I mean, it's a Lightning Rod with a chain lift. It's exactly what you would expect. The chain lift feels really weird, feels like a fever dream for someone that's been experiencing the launch for so long. But if someone didn't know that it was supposed to have a launch, I mean, it's still an incredible ride. You get to the top of the chain lift. I will say another positive, because you are releasing from a chain at the top instead of being launched over the top, I think your body and brain just kind of perceives things a little bit differently. And going into that first drop feels a little bit more like a first drop than it did before. I felt a little bit more there than I used to. Otherwise, it pretty much runs exactly the same throughout the entire rest of the ride. It feels like Lightning Rod. I don't really know what else to say. Other than being a little smoother, I mean, it kind of just feels like Lightning Rod did like 3 or 4 years ago. That's the basic takeaway. I still think it's worse overall without the launch, because I do think that was a big part of the ride's overall identity, really. It was just really fun, really unique, really sets the tone for the ride. I don't think the tone is set quite the same climbing up the hill like that. And obviously there used to be some really fun pre-launch sound effects where you would hear engines revving up and tires peeling out as the train engaged the launch. Obviously all of that is gone. Theatrically, from both an on-ride and off-ride perspective, it's just lost a lot in terms of, again, just theatrics, which I feel like is pretty important in the amusement park and theme park space. So losing that, I think, is a pretty big loss. But I mean, again, this was hopefully to improve reliability. I'm just not sure how I feel about that, since it's only the second day of operation and it's been closed for most of the day. Only time will tell. We'll see as the season goes on if this really has improved things that much. But as I've kind of been saying the whole time, it's still an RMC. Most RMCs still have a lot of downtime. People were acting like this thing was going to achieve like B&M level reliability the second they put a chain lift on. Yeah, we can already see today that's just not what's going to happen. it's gonna be much better. Of course, Lightning Rod was like the worst RMC in terms of downtime, but they all have downtime, right? They're all, I don't want to say unreliable, but they're not B&Ms, right? They're gonna go down a decent bit. So even with the chain lift, it's still got all the other problems that most of the other modern RMCs have. So we'll see how the reliability actually is as the season goes on. I wonder if I can catch this video saying something about the launch. I haven't yet. I don't know if they trimmed that part out. I highly doubt it, since a lot of other stuff in here is outdated. I'm so curious. Oh, did they just zoom in? Wait, what?
You're about to ride one of the most intense rides in the world. It's the world's fastest of its kind. Hang on, you'll be weightless for more than 20 seconds. Lightning rod.
Yeah, no, they actually cut it out. That's hilarious. I don't know if I actually, I'll try to find an old video of it, but basically when the logo came up, it used to say launch wooden roller coaster under it. They literally just zoomed it in. They just zoomed it in. And then, yeah, they did like crop out the parts where it said world's fastest wooden roller coaster verbally. They actually took it out. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they actually went through that effort. Applause. Very interesting. The conduits that used to run the launch wires, obviously they don't run up the lift anymore, but they reused them for the chain lift wiring. Obviously you can see not near as much wiring required for the lift motor, but there it is. And it goes all the way down into the same room, but obviously no super capacitors in there anymore. All right, so I got about 6 more rides on Lightning Rod before I left that area. It was literally just a complete walk-on, which is pretty crazy considering I waited like 30 minutes for it earlier today, but it's still a great ride. But the more I rode it today, the more I realized it was just gonna fall down my rankings more and more. I didn't really notice on the first ride, but the more and more I rode it, the more I noticed that it is definitely running at least noticeably slower. Nothing like crazy, but I think it has to do with the fact that the trains are a lot lighter, so they lose momentum much easier. So especially coming into the quad down, the more the ride progresses, the slower it kind of feels. Again, I think it's most noticeable when you're going over the quad down. Like you can tell, like the quad down feels very different than it used to. And I've ridden lightning rod on some pretty cold days with some pretty empty trains, and I've never felt it running over the quad down quite as slow as it was there. So I didn't want to have to say that, but that's just the truth. The good news is the first little bit of the ride, the wave turn, the twist and shout, the off-axis airtime hill, those feel imperceptibly like they feel exactly the same as they did before. No perceivable difference. It's really just the quad down where the speed difference is really noticeable, which is unfortunate because for a lot of people that's their favorite part of the ride. And yeah, I still just haven't gotten used to the fact that like the launch was such a core part of that ride's like character. Just feels weird with a chain lift. I guess just because I've ridden it with a launch so much, just continuing to approach that position and in my head have to think, oh, we're not about to accelerate. It's a little sad. Sorry, I'm here interjecting in post, but I did want to give a little bit of an update here as I'm actually editing the video. I actually did get to ride it a little bit later in the spring, very recently when it was a bit warmer. Still raining. For some reason, I haven't been able to get out to Dollywood when it hasn't been raining this year, which is, it's annoying, but whatever. But yeah, with it being a bit warmer outside and the train having time to break in over the course of the last couple of months, it definitely is running much better now. I'd say it's still slower than it was, you know, with the launch, the lighter trains, it's definitely noticeable. But the quad down still hit pretty dang hard when I rode it most recently. So I just wanted to add this context that if you're riding it now, later in the spring, or especially this summer when it gets really warm, it's not going to be as slow as what it seems like I'm describing in this video. This was, again, very beginning of the season. Probably the trains haven't had any time to break in yet. I am still a little concerned about how it's going to run come the fall or winter when it starts cooling off. But for now, it's actually doing pretty good. So I just wanted to give that little update. But it is what it is. Sun is setting. We got a little over an hour until park close, which is good because it hasn't been time change yet. We get night rides today. I forget that always kind of happens the first weekend or two of the season. Like the only time in the spring at Dollywood you can get night rides in the spring. Gonna ride Thunderhead in just a second because I'm 99% sure that's my new favorite coaster in the park. But gonna get some dinner first because I am hungry. I have spent way too much money on food today, but it's time for an old classic, Lumberjack's Pizza. If it's open, yes, it's open. I wasn't really expecting this. Back a Lumberjack. The Coca-Cola freestyle machines are still here. I wonder if they still have all the flavors in them though. No, they have some of them. Okay. Yeah. So they actually are stocking some of the flavors. Okay. Including lime. Okay, why? So yeah, if you want to use a Coca-Cola freestyle machine, Lumberjacks in Timber Canyon is our last place to do it. During my time in the little tent, mostly just because these tables aren't wet, because they were covered when it was raining earlier. Unfortunately, the heating unit is not turned on today, and it's a little bit chilly, but it's all right. Got a Lumberjack pizza, which is just their name for the meats pizza, little personal pan pizza. These are pretty good. This is where I ate most of the time that I came here in like high school, so I kind of got a little bit of emotional attachment to it compared to some of the other food options in the park. That's actually one of the better Lumberjacks I've had in the last year or two. Very good, actually. Had to wait a hot second for it because there's almost nobody here right now. When it's incredibly busy, they basically just make a bunch of pizzas and set them out in little heated things for you to just grab really quick. But when there's like nobody here, they actually make them to order. So ironically, it actually is much faster to get your food here when it's more crowded. This is fine because you get a much hotter, much more fresh pizza. So yeah, I got exactly an hour until park close now. So I'm gonna go hit Thunderhead. It's pretty much nighttime. So go hit Thunderhead. I'm gonna go get night ride on Big Bear Mountain and then come back to Thunderhead. I'm deciding if I want to do a night ride on Lightning Rod or not. I'd have to walk all the way back over there at the end of the night. So we'll just kind of see if I have time or not. It depends on how fast I get on these two. I've already ridden Lightning Rod enough today. And because the Lightning Rod night ride is what solidified that as my number one for so long, I don't want to ride it at night now with the chain lift and be disappointed, have that ruined for me. I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for that yet. So I'll decide within the next 45 minutes. All right, time to go ride Thunderhead, which is almost certainly my new favorite ride in the park. But to be fair, I don't know exactly how it's running this year, so we'll give it a fair shot here. Yep, I can say with 200% certainty Thunderhead is the best ride in the park now. At least my personal number one ride in the park. I'm sorry, Lightning Rod, after how long? Almost 8 years as my favorite ride in the park. Actually 7 years, because I rode it for the first time in 2017. But yeah, you have been so dethroned. It's not even funny. You got dethroned by a ride that's like 10 years older than you. Almost 15 years older than you. That's sad. It's kind of funny how that works though. But hey, both Thunderhead and Lightning Rod have received a lot of maintenance, a lot of modifications over the past couple of years. And Thunderhead's gotten much better, and Lightning Rod's gotten much worse from a pure ride experience perspective. That's just kind of how it is. Thunderhead's just one of those rides that every single time I ride it, it reminds me why I love roller coasters so much. There are many rides like that for me, but Thunderhead is definitely one of them. And Lightning Rod is not one of them. It hasn't been one of them since 2021, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. Even if it didn't give me that, man, this is why I love theme parks and roller coasters so much feeling, I still really liked what it is, and I liked what it used to be to me. But it is, like I mentioned before, it's still a great ride, but it's kind of a shell of its former self. Not that I necessarily fault the park for that. What had to happen. It's just an unfortunate circumstance. And to me, it's not even like Dollywood lost its star attraction or anything like that, because we still got Thunderhead. Oh yeah, and this wait time board has not worked all day. It's probably nothing, just an observation. Okay, there's a solid, train's mostly full. Saw a train a minute ago that had 3 people on it. This is such a fantastic night ride, one of my favorite night rides in the park. It is just such a ridiculous hike to get back here, which is normally less of an issue. Just at night, you don't have very long. You got maybe an hour, if you're really lucky, an hour and a half, 2 hours of darkness. And if you have to spend 15 minutes of that hiking back here, sometimes you kind of feel like it's not worth it, I have a stroller parking area over there, but then everyone just parks their strollers here. Oh my gosh, it is dark. But yeah, this queue is a little bit of a pain in the butt to walk through when it's empty. It's just long, but I'll still take an interesting queue for when it is crowded over one that's easier to walk through.
Here, let's go find Big Bear.
That was great. Also, surprise, onboard audio was actually working again. I don't know why it was not working this morning, but that's good, I guess. I rode it 3 times. Onboard audio worked all 3 times, seemingly on both trains. So yeah, great ride. Definitely my favorite family coaster. We'll see if that changes next week, because I will be visiting Universal for the first time since 2014. Pretty excited about that, although it is going to empty my bank account. But yeah, anyways, I'll be riding Hagrid's then, and we'll see. But for now, until I ride Hagrid's, Big Bear Mountain's definitely my favorite family coaster. All right, got about 15 minutes until park close, so time to go ride Thunderhead. I can probably get a couple rides in here. There's no wait, so who knows how many. Which means I'm not going to be able to get a night ride on Lightning Rod here, but that's okay. I don't feel like I need one to get a good feel of it.
Welcome back. How was that ride? Glad y'all liked it. When the train stops, push down below on your restraint, exit to the left. Have a great night here at Dollywood.
It's kind of funny thing with Lightning Rod. All the rides at Dollywood have light strips that go all the way up the lift hills. Lightning rods used to stop about 3/4 of the way up where the launch stopped. But now with the chain lift, they've put extra LED strips all the way up to the top to signify the whole lift hill instead of just where the launch ended before. Just that's a little neat. Attention to detail, I guess. But yeah, Thunderhead, definitely where it's at. It's my new, I can definitely say, #1 ride in the park now. So, all right, hopefully our parking tram line's not too bad right now, because I'm kind of ready to book it home. I gotta be up pretty early tomorrow morning, so yeah, looking good, looking good. So there you can see, covered in a kind of beige tarp, that's Dolly's tour bus. So that will be going back into the Dolly Parton Experience area. The stairs are done with it, but it's being stored out here in the meantime. So, there you go. All right, I just got home, which means I'm about to take one heck of a shower. Nothing like a nice warm shower after a cold and rainy theme park day. It wasn't that cold today, but you know, it's something that is really nice to do, so I'm gonna go do that. But yeah, overall, opening day, good. It was kind of miserable there at the beginning with the weather, but it kind of redeemed itself at the end when the weather started to clear up. Lightning Rod opened. All the other rides have been closed all day. Ended up opening back up. The day still didn't go exactly how I planned it, and I didn't get to do all the rides I necessarily wanted to ride just because of mostly the weather, but just how some other things worked out. But that's okay. I live like 45 minutes away from most of the year while I'm at school, so I'm sure I will be back there plenty more this year. And I've been there plenty of times before, so it really doesn't matter that much. So yeah, if you want to see more Dollywood content in the future, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like on this video if you thought it was interesting, because that does help other people find it. And very soon, if not already, you'll see some other videos from today, like some off-ride footage from Lightning Rod and a What's New at Dollywood in 2024 video. Actually, those should already be up. So go find them. Otherwise, I hope to catch a ride with you again very soon.